Afternoon, friends. Ash here, WAT News, with some news and election updates. It's December the 19th, 2020. And I was watching this G&D code. I put it up on my YouTube. Check it out if you get a chance. Really, really good. A lot of information. Excuse me. So let's go down some rabbit holes and check out some different and interesting things. First off, I found this article just popped out on Gateway a little while ago. General Flynn, in an interview with Lou Dobbs, claimed that other countries had their intelligence agencies monitoring our election, willing to share with President. General Flynn drops a bomb on Lou Dobbs. General Flynn joined the former National Security Advisor to President Trump joined Lou Dobbs on Friday night to discuss the SolarWinds cyber attack and the Trump campaign strategy to expose the massive fraud. Let's just see if the video's here. We'll watch the full vid.
Our first guest this evening is the former National Security Advisor to President Trump, former Director of the Defense Intelligence Agency. Joining us now, I am pleased to say, is General Michael Flynn, a great American, and we appreciate your time, General. This attack, your sense of it, how pervasive, what are the dimensions, and how concerned should every American be about our government and our country?
Well, I mean, all of these cyber attacks that have occurred from, in most cases, foreign influencers. Lou, can you still hear me? I'm sorry.
Lou's pissed.
I'm sorry, we're having trouble. You're back up here, General.
Yeah. Okay.
Apologize for the.
What I would say about the SolarWinds is that SolarWinds is an entry point into the rest of our entire U.S. critical infrastructure. So everything that touches the United States government, if you enter through this SolarWinds attack that we received, you now have access. You basically have the keys to the vault, and you're inside of our home, and you're able to rummage around and do damn near anything. So it's a very, very serious attack. I would say on one hand, okay, on the other hand, we cannot be distracted because this attack, we now, I believe, we've known about it for about 6 months, the way I understand it. So when we talk about our election security, Lou, I think that this is all part of it, because there is a relationship between this SolarWinds attack, which has basically penetrated our entire critical infrastructure, as well as our election security. So we have to look at everything that we're doing, and we have to, everybody's got to take a deep breath and back up and say, okay, with all of the egregious behavior that we have seen on our election security, we cannot stand for foreign influence, which we have direct evidence of foreign influence. We also have evidence now from other countries, other foreign partners, who have evidence, and in fact, they were watching the attacks on our election system, our election process on the 3rd of November, and they are willing to provide that directly to the president. So we now have that evidence, and we received that today. It's very, very important. So there are foreign partners and allies that are willing to help us, but this foreign influence against our election security and into this SolarWinds system is really, really dangerous, and more has to be done.
Well, let's take this in some order. First, in terms of the breadth and the urgency, the immediate threat is without question this attack on the United States government. And I understand the use of language like infiltration, cybersecurity attack, as if in some way it's not an attack if it's a cyber attack. But the reality is we don't know the damage. We don't know what agencies actually have control of their systems. We don't know what has been compromised. We don't know what to do about, according to and this comes from the agency, some of the agencies themselves. They have no idea how to rid themselves of the malware. There are reports that FBI agents are walking away from their computers because they're beyond repair or remediation.
Right. So Lou, what we're really talking about is we are in an information war, and probably the principal nemesis is China. And this is an information war that they are masters at it. We believe we're pretty good, and I do believe that we're pretty good. We have certain capabilities to be able to sort of block and tackle in this information warfare domain that we are fighting within. There has to be bigger decisions by the President of the United States. He's going to have to. He should pull in the Director of the National Security Agency. He should pull in the Director of Homeland Security, the Director of Defense, or the Secretary of Defense, and he needs to pull these people in immediately and basically get from them what is it that's happening and what do we need to do? What decisions does he need to make? And it is all related, because this is not something that just happened this past weekend. This has been going on for months. And there are.
By the way, General, we're told that this may have been going on for years at this level, and the damage is not even right now. The United States government can't even estimate the damage or the extent of the infiltration, or what has been taken out, exfiltrated by the enemy. And why don't we call these people the enemies? These are not cyber attackers. This isn't just foreign influence. This is a damn enemy of the United States, is it not?
Right, it absolutely is. I mean, absolutely, Lou. We're not. These are no longer competitors or equals. These are threats to our national security. These are direct threats to our national security. And we're talking about, because we know we have evidence of foreign influence in the election, and in this case too, you're talking countries like China, countries like Iran, countries like North Korea, like Russia. These are adversaries that want to basically dominate with their ideology this country. And we cannot kid ourselves any longer and play games in this world of cyber attacks and act like it's just some video game. This is real stuff. They are stealing our intellectual property. They are stealing our designs. They are stealing the innovation. They're stealing damn near everything from this country, and then they're going to use it against us in some capacity, whether it's in trade, whether it's in diplomacy, or whether it's against us military to military. It's very, very dangerous. The decisions that the president has to make now, as I said, he needs to call these members of his team in, and I believe he's probably done some of that, but there are some that he needs to pull in and say, okay, guys and gals, what is it that we need to do right now? And I need to understand.
Let me say, General, if I may interject, General. Let me just say, at 3:30 this afternoon, he was meeting with the head of the Department of Defense, Chris Miller. He has recalled his national security advisor 2 days ago because of the urgency of what is happening, and they have been meeting, as we understand it, throughout the day. General, can you join us on the other side of this quick commercial break? And we can pick up the conversation from there, and particularly the point about the intelligence of other nations about the security of our own election. If you could not do it, I understand, but we would invite you to do so if you can. We'll be back with General Michael Flynn, depending on his disposition of that invitation. Stay with us. We'll be right back. We're back now with General Michael Flynn, who's been gracious enough to wait through these commercials to continue the conversation. The General has just told us that other countries' intelligence agencies were watching our election on November 3rd and have important intelligence to share with the United States. General, how soon can they provide that to the United States?
Well, I think that they'll provide it directly to the president once we present the evidence to him, and to the through the legal process that we have, and they're more than willing to do that from what we understand. In terms of these cyber attacks, so this is we talk about foreign influence like it's some esoteric thing.
Right.
This is a direct intervention into our national security, into our ability to run our country the way we want to run it. This is when we say a cyber attack, that's exactly what it is. It's like any other weapon system that is attacking us. Only in this case, it's through information, it's through deception, it's through theft of that information. So we have to really take this seriously. I think that as a nation, I think a couple of things that so what to do about it. I think the team around the president needs to shore themselves up. I think that the political camps that we have in this country need to come together on this, because this is a very, very dangerous situation. We're in a dangerous period of time right now for our country. And I think that, in fact, I would say that I know that Americans, the American people, are more than willing to support whatever the president decides to do in this regard, because we're talking about the safety and security, which is the principal responsibility for the president of the United States of the people of this country. And that is what is at risk.
General, we thank you very much. We appreciate, as always, your insight.
Well, there it is, right?
General. All the very best. Look forward.
I think the general laid it out pretty well, right? I just had one other angle that I wanted to talk about, because there's always the disinformation angle, right? And so let's just assume for a second one other thing, right? Let's think about it from another aspect, which is that if Trump did know about this in March, or maybe even before, well, when he got rid of Esper, right, what did they start doing? We don't know. But what we do know is the other angle to this could be that, and I said this before, that Trump had someone from military intel hack it just to show it could be hacked and not do any damage, right? Just get into the systems but not take anything, just to show that it's got a back door, and then leave a code, like how the CIA, if you remember, WikiLeaks released the Hive, which is the CIA stuff that they use to hack, where they can leave like a trail that appears to be from Russia, like, or from a Russian server or something like that, but it's actually from the CIA. And so they can do stuff like that. They can do anything they want, really, right? So they can make it look like it was Russia, but really it was China. So my point is that there's only two instances of what it could be, right? Somebody, a foreign actor, hacked it that's our enemy, or we hacked it ourselves just to show it could be hacked. So we have to see how it plays out, right? Would China be stupid enough to do that? Maybe, yeah, if they're trying to, jack the election, yeah. So, and plus it goes into so much of our infrastructure that, you could do a lot of damage, right? So right after that happened, that interview, Trump and Sidney Powell met Friday night for a huddle in the Oval Office. So as soon as Trump heard that, because as you heard that he said that other intel agencies from other countries were monitoring live time what was going on. Now, did Trump rearrange that through some of our allies in Five Eyes? We don't know yet, but it's starting to look like someone was watching outside the country to see what was going on besides us. And so was there some kind of plan in place with some of our maybe allies to look out? We don't know yet, right? President Trump and attorney Sidney Powell met for a Friday night huddle in the Oval Office, according to the New York Times, which claims they discussed the idea of Powell becoming a special counsel to investigate voter fraud, according to two people briefed on the discussion. And how were they privy? The report goes on to claim that Rudy Giuliani, Trump's personal lawyer, who publicly distanced their legal team from Powell's efforts to prove widespread election fraud through rigged Dominion voting systems machines, opposed the idea, despite rumors that the former New York mayor sought to have the Department of Homeland Security to seize voting machines to analyze them. Mr. Giuliani joined the discussion by phone while Ms. Powell was at the White House for a meeting that became raucous at times, according to one of the people briefed on what took place. Other administration officials drifted in and out of the meeting. Two of the people briefed said, and the White House counsel Pat A. Cipollone pushed back on the ideas being proposed. Ms. Powell accused other Trump advisors of being quitters, according to the people briefed. The notion of Powell becoming a special counsel reportedly sent shockwaves through the president's circle, as Trump has been in contact with her in recent days despite the campaign's public distancing. According to the Times, her claims that Dominion machines were used to rig the election are baseless despite claims to the contrary. The Times also notes that President Trump has pushed outgoing Attorney General William Barr to appoint a special counsel to investigate election fraud, as well as a separate one to investigate Biden family corruption centered around Joe Biden's son Hunter, whose laptop contained evidence that Joe was involved in Hunter's Ukrainian and China dealings. These claims were backed up by 2 former Biden family business associates in both sworn affidavits and electronic evidence. Does any of this matter if the Supreme Court won't even look at the evidence? So that's Zero Hedge's take. They huddled up for this meeting. Now, was it about making Sidney Powell the a special counsel to event? Maybe. We don't know, right? We don't know what they spoke about. So, to wait and see on that. Out of just the news, out of Arizona, Maricopa County refuses to comply with Arizona legislative subpoena for election evidence. So the people there were served. The county was served, and they were supposed to come up with the evidence and produce what was asked for, and they just refused. So I don't know where this is going. Board for Late State's largest county, encompassing Phoenix, votes 4-1 to go to court to fight turning over ballot data machines. Yeah, because it's starting to look like you might have done something wrong, right? Of course you're not going to turn over the evidence. So I have to see how this all plays out. I was also starting to look into the quantum.gov, the national initiative. There's some interesting stuff going on here. And they also have a CISA. Sorry, it was a NIST page, not CISA. I got all these agencies, I got confused. They have a NIST page. They have all these different stuff. So you can go to quantum.gov if you want to check that out. See what's going on with the quantum initiative in this country. And it has reports and, different stuff, strategy, different, all kinds of, seems like a lot of information. It's way over my head. So if you get a chance, check out the Gene Decode, Festig's 83rd meeting, Gene Decode. A lot of information. He was talking also about the chemtrails, by the way, which I found out was called Operation Indigo Sky. And that led me down a couple different things. I watched this video by this psychic, and she was talking about extremely positive predictions. And I think a lot of the stuff that she was talking about seemed to hit me and like that it was correct. So I wanted to read what her predictions were and stuff. So she writes from her video, and I'll include the link to this page. This is Star Nation News, which is kind of like a Disclosure Awakening news website, it seems like. Has some interesting videos. I haven't really dug into it. They have a lot of stuff like off the mainstream, and I like that. So based on her meditations, Michelle provides uplifting encouragement of how the world will be in the future. See the videos noted. See the video notes provided. So I just wanted to read off some of the things she's talking about real quick. Humanity cannot take all bright aspects of change all at once. Thus needed changes will roll out over time. A somewhat intense round of initial changes will take place during 2021 through 2023. Darkness is systematically being eliminated, Matrix and its limitations being outed. People will be autonomously empowered and joyous. There will be no media blackout. Behind the scenes, a new media structure is being built. All major news networks will be dismantled. New breed of journalists will focus on positive aspect of news. That's a really interesting, because we're seeing that already, right? And all these young people and people that are younger than me that just, they have like a thirst for the truth, right? They just want someone that's going to tell them something that isn't a lie, right? That makes sense. That you can see that it's the real thing. And that's what's happening, and people are sick of all this negative news, and it's all always dark, and that's one thing she's talking about that's true. I think that's happening. The old paradigm of fear, darkness, poverty, illness, suffering replaced by joy. Dark topics such as child trafficking and the dark forces will be disclosed at a pace that humanity will be able to handle. Trump will create a new paradigm, a government of one people of light. This will help people to venture into the new age of light for the entire world. Trump will step down from single-person leadership role and hand the reins to a group of people best qualified to lead the world onward. No more polarity parties, only one organization now, no longer known as a party. Nesara will be rolled out, to begin rolling out from January 2021. Will be known as Nesara in the U.S. U.S. activities will commence first, and other countries will follow. The level of deep state resistance to this will affect timing of rollout, but if necessary, Nesara will be rolled out by force. UK and Australia's rollout might be long and drawn out due to deep state resistance. UK's financial universal credit system might be brought into service for rolling out Nesara and a tax-free basic income. US Federal Reserve will be dissolved. Banks that agree to serve citizens will remain, others will be dissolved. Pretty much, Federal Reserve's already pretty much had their power taken away. It's not dissolved yet, but folded into the Treasury, so the Treasury's now in control. By the way, Gene was talking about in the decode that they found so much gold in this tunnel that leads from, allegedly, from the Vatican all the way to Jerusalem. And I don't know if that's just one humongous dumb tunnel or it's a dumb or whatever, but he said it was filled with a lot of gold. So much gold that it's like in the quadrillions. So if that's true, they're going to be able to do anything they want, right? And gold is also needed for so many things. And so could change, a lot of things could change, and a lot of countries will probably get their gold back that was taken over time by different wars and stuff like that the Vatican may have been holding it there. Not holding it, they stole it. Vaccine agenda will not be permitted. Divine feminine has been oppressed for hundreds of years, but will rise up going forward. The vibration of war is no longer an energetic match for the new world of love. Sounds good to me. Lockdowns in U.S. will begin to go out of effect in late December 2020 after it's disclosed that this is where I perked my ears up. Lockdowns in U.S. will begin to go out of effect in late December 2020 after it is disclosed that the software used to manipulate 2020 U.S. presidential election will also be shown as having manipulated the tabulation of COVID-19 stats. So can you imagine if it's Dominion also that somehow is involved in this? That's going to be a problem, right? U.S. General Flynn will work as an envoy of peace, helping all countries across the earth, especially with Nesara and disseminating wealth and many other benefits in technology, medicine, etc. So that's kind of cool, right? I think he'd be a good global ambassador for something like that. He's a well-spoken, he's well-respected, he's a godly man, he's a very friendly person, he seems like a nice guy. I mean, I'd have a beer with General Flynn. Why not? He seems like cool people to me, so why not put him out there and help the world, right? And he could also help you do all kinds of stuff in your country. Chinese Communist Party, CCP, will be dismantled from the inside, and country will be called New China. Education will be more competence-based, more intuition-oriented. For example, topics will include astrology, singing, meditation, prayer, art, music, gardening, and caring for animals. That sounds like a better idea to me. And maybe astrotheology or something. Learning will be oriented on nurturing and natural aptitude. Farming will change drastically and be organic. Many foods will be locally produced with co-ops. Animals will be revered. Animal sport and hunting will be banned. Animals will be allowed into places where they were previously restricted, for example, hospitals. This will allow them to aid in the healing process. Corrupt politicians will be removed. Smart cities will form, allowing people to have more free time. Dedicated to allow people to rest when needed and do things they wish. These cities will use the quantum system to track the fair use of resources. Travel in the golden age will be managed by a quantum computing system related to the quantum financial system for booking travel. Passports will no longer be necessary. System will use retina and fingerprinting for tracking. Flying cars. Family and local communities will be formed with strong bonds. Food and water will be plentiful. Tesla towers will produce and distribute energy. 5G towers will be converted to distribute power in similar manner as Tesla towers. Weather will no longer be manipulated, thus calming and reducing severe events such as earthquakes, tornadoes, and tsunamis. HCQ will be used for general health and to alleviate autoimmune disorders. Cancer will be relieved by MedBed. MedBeds will be rolled out for the masses from 2023 to 2025. I heard that would be sooner. I heard sometime next year. So let's hope it's sooner than that, because there's a lot of people waiting on those. And I also heard people spreading disinformation, and Gene says that these med beds don't use any needles like some of the movies show. Most of the healing med beds will be energy based, right? Fusion. Is it fusion tech or so? Yeah, it's something that's good for you. It's not like energy that's bad for you. So that's what I'm hearing. They're going to turn the military around, make it more like for envoys of peace, not war. Laws will revert back to common law practices. We've talked about that with maritime admiralty law. Now we're going to go back to common law. Breaches of law will be handled by the quantum system. So it's going to replace the whole court system, which is the whole corrupt mechanism that they protect themselves with, right? That's really the necessary thing also. And then put the quantum system in where there's no bias, right? There's no, it just interprets the law as the law, right? And it doesn't have any political bias. It can't be bribed. It can't be threatened. That's all the problem with humanity, right? When you're dealing with elections and stuff where you have a human component to it, well, then I can affect that human component, right? In a different way than I can affect, say, a computer component. Like, you can't get into the quantum system, I can't affect it, right? But if I can threaten your family, or threaten your life, or expose you, or do something, I have blackmail on you, yeah, I can make you do what I want you to do. Like affect the election in a negative way, right? Social media platforms such as Facebook, Google, and others may be dissolved, replaced by other platforms. That's all. There used to be MySpace. That used to be a big deal. Now nobody even uses it. So Facebook will just be another MySpace. You had it all, and you threw it away because you had to be you were used for a bad purpose, right? You were never what you said you were. U.S. Democratic Party will not step down immediately, but will step down before court system decides their final demise in order to avoid any further embarrassment. May happen as soon as late as November 2020. Well, she made this video, the woman, in November, so like early November. So she may be off on those dates, but I could see that as being an end game to this, right? If it's in the Supreme Court, and then all this evidence starts pouring in their case, right? I mean, at some point, they're going to cut their losses, right? Unless Biden wants to sit around and listen to the complete Supreme Court layout of it all, right? And that opinion is going to be looked over by everybody. So if you lose that one as Biden, I mean, your whole name is forever marked, right? Besmirched in the annals of history. So I think the question will be how much damage does Biden want on his name, or does he even care anymore? We don't know. I mean, his name is pretty much besmirched as it is, with just the information that's come out with the Sun. And I also saw another article on Gateway that was talking about, he was asking his accountant how much he'd be worth if he was in prison. And that was back in like 2017. So why are you asking your accountant how much you'd be worth if you were locked up in prison? That's the easiest $500 million you ever made. Accountant to Hunter Biden by Joe Hoft. Hunter made millions at the expense of taxpayers. The amounts were staggering. Previously, we reported that Hunter Biden asked his accountant how much money would he be making if he were in jail. In March of 2017, Hunter Biden also requested from his accountant a list of entities where he had ownership. His accountant provided a list. And he's in a lot of stuff. I mean, he's in Rosemont Seneca Advisor, which holds equity in Harvest and Nevergold Projects, RSP Investments, BD, BHR, Bohai Harvest, I think. Once share transfer is complete, Eudora, Eplata, Citizens RX, Lineup Media, Tadich Grill, RSTP, 1, 2, Alpha and Bravo. This may be technically held individually, which is why I carved it out in agreement. Equity Distribution Trust, Bow legal cases likely finished. Rosemont Realty, so they have like a realty arm. American Well, think that covers it. Might be missing something, but ultimately if you were to give Kathleen a percentage of income from Owasco LLC for projects initiated before the divorce, she would share in all the above if anything pays a distribution. I tried to look up Owasco LLC, and I couldn't find much about it. And it's also a town called Owasco in some state, which I can't remember where. I thought it might be upstate New York, but or maybe not. Maybe it was Delaware. I can't remember now, but we don't know how many millions in equity ownership Hunter accumulated while his father was vice president, but we know it's in the millions. We received a clue on how many million when Hunter's accountant replied to Hunter in a separate email related to his fortunes. That's the easiest $500 million you ever made. So this kid's sitting on $500 million? Wow. And that's just maybe some. Maybe there's more, right? The Biden family pillaged the U.S., so of that $500 million, you're telling me he sat on all of that? I doubt it. So it's probably... And you remember he saying in his earlier emails that they found off his laptop that he pays for everything for everybody, right? So he's the money guy. That's how I see it. He gets all the money, and he pays everything for everybody. And then he gets it back to Joe in some other way that we're not aware of yet. I'm assuming through these shell corporations that they're all set up all over the place for everybody. That seems to be the thing. So that's that. I wanted you to watch this Kim Clement video for a second, which has, this is going to be from April 4th, 2007, and it's going to go ahead in time. If you're not familiar with Kim Clement, he's a prophet that foretold President Trump's coming many, many years before it happened. And there's other prophets that have also, forgot the other gentleman's name. I think they took his YouTube off too. Mark Taylor, sorry. Yeah, Mark Taylor is another prophet. I actually stumbled onto Kim Clement's videos, I don't know, maybe like 14 or 2014, 15-ish, before Trump was running. And I was just so struck by like his just demeanor and the kind of like, I was like, this is the funkiest like church, service I've ever seen. It's like he's got instruments, he's playing, all different stuff. So let's just watch a little bit. I won't make you watch the whole thing, but you can go check out Kim. He made many videos about Trump coming, and I thought this was a cool one. So let me get it going. Just let me get it. Here we go, guys.
Trump shall become a trumpet, says the Lord. No, you didn't hear me. Trump shall become a trumpet. Are you listening to me? I will raise up the Trump to become a trumpet. There's a man by the name of Mr. Clark, and there is also another man by the name of Donald. You are both watching me saying, could it be that God's speaking to me? Yes, he is. Somebody, just a few minutes before you came on the show, you went out and you took the American flag and you said, I'm proud of my nation. You raised it up, and God said, you have been determined through your prayers to influence this nation. You're watching me, you're an influential person. The Spirit of God says, hear the word of the prophet to you as a king. I will open that door that you prayed about. And when it comes time for the election, you will be elected. There will be a praying president, not a religious one. But I will fool the people, says the Lord. I will fool the people. Yes, I will. God says, the one that is chosen shall go in, and they shall say, he has hot blood. For the Spirit of God says, yes, he may have hot blood, but he will bring the walls of protection on this country in a greater way, and the economy of this country shall change rapidly, says the Lord of hosts. Listen to the word of the Lord. God says, I will put at your helm for 2 terms a president that will pray, but he will not be a praying president when he starts. I will put him in office, and then I will baptize him with the Holy Spirit and my power, says the Lord of hosts. Come on!
We are now and will forever be one American family, united by allegiances, bound by destiny, and sustained by the faith of Almighty God. Thank you. God bless you. God bless our military. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Lord. Deliver us now. Deliver us. Bring deliverance, Lord. Deliver us from this enemy that has endeavored to handicap us. Lord, the betrayal that has been so evident in the White House, bring that to an end. I see a president that shall come. This is not to speak bad about this one. There is a president who will come. God says you will have absolutely no fear. Absolutely no fear. Will be decisive, make decisions. And then in the middle of the restoration of America, rapidly because of a source of energy that shall come quickly, because of medical breakthroughs, because of agreements between nations, specifically China. God said they shall say, we never dreamed this would happen. Where they shall say, Christ will reign, and this we shall not implement at all socialism. Where they have said, we will make history without God. No, you will not. No, you will not, says the Lord. For they are saying, how do we kill the giant? How do we kill the giant of death? How do we kill the giant of socialism? How do we kill the giant of human secularism? I have placed that man amongst you. Take all these little remarks I'm giving you. They are gems. The name and the word gold. And God says, these that shall reject him shall be shocked at how he takes the giant down. But God said, watch. I said 20,000. Look not to Wall Street, however, observe. And they shall say, what is your plan for this giant? And he will take a simple stone.
Remember the name.
And he will hold it up and they will laugh at him. But the plan is so brilliant, says the Lord. It could only have been given by me. They will shout, impeach, impeach. But this shall not happen. And then God says, highly embarrassing moments when another Snowden arises. And people will become very afraid. And God says healing shall begin and then it shall flow rapidly. Schools will be free from potential damage and danger, shootings and murder, drug addiction. Cartels shall be afraid of a woman. A woman anointed by God. A woman set aside. And God says they will say we hated her, but now we love her. For she shall take the oil of healing, and she shall pour it upon the scars of those left and those right, and of the new party that has come forth and emerged. Therefore the healing that is necessary for this nation shall come at a time in the middle of the presidency. There shall be a woman that shall come. And God said there shall be oil that shall be poured upon the nation. And they shall suddenly feel the healing. And they shall say, it is well with my soul. It is well with our soul. For the soul of America has been corrupt.
So I'm getting chills, guys, because I'm thinking about Sidney Powell right now, and a lot of stuff he's talking about is making sense, and it was even then. Let's go on a little more.
The soul of this nation has been corrupted with bitterness and anger, and God said she shall say, no more bitterness, no more anger, no more division. So I was overwhelmed by a strong presence of hatred.
I'll stop right there, guys. You can watch more Kim Clement videos. If you're not familiar with him, his videos are all over the internet. I came across Kim probably about the same time as my spiritual awakening began, which was maybe like 2014, 15-ish, 13ish. And what I began to see was that I could see that he was correct. I knew what he was saying was right somehow, and that it was coming from source, and I could see that he was special somehow. I just felt it in the way he spoke, and his intonation and his words, that what he was saying was true. And when all this stuff that that's the thing that blew everybody's mind. If you were watching Kim Clement before Trump ever came into the picture, was like everything he was saying came true almost to the word. That they will yell impeach, impeach, and they will not impeach. And I remember when the impeachment trial was over, I went back and started watching even more Kim just to see if I missed stuff. And you always do. And I missed that whole part about a woman coming who will pour oil on the land. That's, I think, Sidney Powell for sure. Because a lot of people on the other side don't like Sidney Powell. But when I took a look at Sidney Powell, and I could see other empaths and people who have a shine on them, she's got the shine all over her. And The Shine is just what The Shining was about, the movie, right? That's what they used to call it back down certain parts of the country, right? Certain people would see you and they'd say, you got the shine on you. There's something special about you, right? You're not sure what it is, but she's got it. And, so Sydney's special, I think, for sure. She's like one of those figures, She's going to heal the land, and I think maybe it's her. I don't know yet. I'm trying to think of another woman that's like sort of in that framework, but I can't right now. It's not. She popped right into my head when he said that. So anyway, guys, I don't want to go too long on the vid. I just wanted you to know that that's why I'm at peace. I already think I know how it all turns out, and Trump will win the election, but I don't think he'll serve the second term if Nesara is real, because if Nesara is real, then he has to step down, as well as every other world leader. So let's see how it all plays out, guys. Interesting, exciting days and times, and I wish you all well with your ascension, and how you're feeling and everything. And the 21st coming up, we got big things, and we got big news. So with that, guys, I wish you peace and love. This is Ash, WAT News, and I'm signing off for right now.